I'm going to add one more motto to the list of mottos, and that is, perception is reality. All throughout this discussion, you've been saying that people perceive reality, and that you've been confusing the perception of reality for the reality. And I think that's probably a big mistake on your part. How people perceive reality, of course, is very subjective. And there are ways, there are disciplines people can use in order to measure reality more objectively. Science does a lot to do this. There's a lot of ways people can attempt to view reality, to perceive reality more objectively. One way is by having certain expectations, by making predictions and seeing whether or not they come true. Science has explored a lot of what it takes in order to be able to get rid of your biases, to view and perceive reality more objectively. No, it's not perfect. It will never be perfect. Our perceptions will always be colored by our experiences, and our experiences are always deeply personal. But it is possible for people to come together and to agree upon observations. In fact, that's what most of science is founded on, is the fact that people can agree upon what they observe, that people can make predictions and conduct experiments and all see the same thing. That is objectivity, okay? And as far as objective morality is concerned, I think I tend to be more of a pragmatist, meaning that while I may disagree with a lot of people's conclusions, I want to understand their observations. First and foremost, you will never find agreement among people until you first agree upon basic observations. And that is a discipline that needs to occur in order for people to reach consensus or to be able to agree on anything. Okay, otherwise, why argue? Why argue about anything if you're not trying to reach some kind of consensus? You know, it's all just chatter in the wind otherwise, you know. So objectivity is something that's not perfect, but even though it's not perfect, it never will be. You know, especially as individuals. As individuals, our capacity for being objective is very, very limited. But collectively, in the community, it is possible. There's lots of ideas and lots of ways people can view things, and when you've got a very competitive system such as science, where people are actively trying to find holes in the theory, trying to find holes in conclusions, then it establishes a process whereby objectivity can be approached but never fully attained. And I think it's important that people consider consequences, agree or try to agree on observations, try to consider consequences, and from there determine what's good or bad. Because I think you'll find once people agree on consequences, there's the capacity for a lot more agreement, because there's a lot of commonality. Even though it's subjective, there's a lot of evolutionary psychology that people will tend to have very similar ideas of what's good or bad, and it's hardwired in their brains. You know, there's variance because it's life, and there's going to be variance, and it's not going to be perfect, but people are very, very similar in their instincts and what they find to be good or bad. What they disagree about most are consequences. And that's what morality, big chunk of what morality comes down to, is understanding the consequences. So anyways,